There you go.
Yes, it's working. Okay, we're on video number 2. I'm here with Liz Rosado, and we are talking about...
We were talking about the Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers.
And I left off where my husband had to go get the marriage license from City Hall all the way to South Daring, be back in 30 minutes.
And that's about a half-an-hour trip. For people who don't know how to get from downtown Chicago to South Daring, it's a trip.
Yeah, it's a trip.
Yes.
You gotta go to the neighborhood. But luckily, my father-in-law, he had one of those cars that looked like a DT car.
Okay.
And he kept the badge, a fake badge in there. So, as my husband was driving, his best man was sticking it out the badge out the window going down Lakeshore Drive, and they said that cars were pulling over, thinking they were cops. Yeah. So we went up to the chambers where the judge was, and my husband was like 10 minutes late, but the judge was nice enough to wait. And so he made it back like at 12:10. So it was pretty good. It was pretty cool. Okay. So we see the Blues Brother movie, and it reminds us of that crazy day.
So you were actually part of the whole event that took place there because they interrupted your day.
Yes, actually. Because we had to park so far, and because they had all the streets
they had all the streets blocked off, and nobody can get in or out, actually.
Yeah. And then, of course, the scene on 95th, because we all grew up, the east side and the whole southeast side area. So.
Yeah, that was when they picked our neighborhood to have the...
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Over the bridge.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Yes. We were all part of that. We all love the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, yeah. Go to 95th right now, you still see it in
the plaque there.
In the fish shop, yeah.
Yes. And they have pictures in the chicken joint across the street.
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, I forget the name of the chicken joint. You're going to give them... What's the name of their chicken joint? I don't know. All I remember is Kingfish, my uncle's place across the street.
Yeah, Kingfish was the shit.
Yes. Yeah. So, we had many good memories. I wanted to ask you about your high school days now that we got through grammar school.
Okay.
What high school did you go to, and how was your high school days?
I went to Elizabeth Seton High School, which was in South Holland. And back in those days, we really didn't get out of South Daring, go out too far, besides like over the bridge to Cal Park and stuff. So I thought I was going to like a way different, way out of the neighborhood. Community, big time, yeah, because South Daring and South Holland was totally different.
Oh, big time.
And that was an all-girls school, so yeah, I went to all-girls school, Elizabeth Seton, graduated in 1979, started dating my husband, and met my husband in 76, we dated in 77, and we got married in 79. And here we are, 44 years later.
Celebrating the anniversary.
Yes.
So here, tell me about the neighborhood. Tell me about the games that were played, and what activities, when you went out the door, what activities did you intend to do that day?
Well,
and I'm talking about, between grammar school and high school.
Well, definitely loved, back in the day, the alleys were not paved like they are now. So it was like a bunch of gravel and stuff. But we would play softball, in the alleys, and yes, get our knees all tore up and all that. Definitely rode our bikes. I mean, that was a big plus. We would all get together on our bikes, run, just through the whole neighborhood and stuff. Playing tag, what was that other one? Kick the can.
Hopscotch.
Hopscotch.
How come are you talking about the marble game? When in the alleys,
it was dice.
The dice games, yeah.
You rather with the ball with the little, I don't know what you call those.
Oh, the marbles.
You used to play marbles too.
With those little picky things. What do you call those? The ball, you bounce the ball in.
And the card games. I want the card games.
Yes, the card games. Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, I'm going to move back over. We want you back here, next to us. We're going to talk about the card games and the bets that you made. How about when you threw the quarter on the lines on the sidewalk?
Yes, I don't remember what the name of that.
What you call that?
Pitching.
I don't remember that, but yes, I remember that.
You can see what games I played.
Penny pitching.
Okay, what about spin the bottle? Oh, come on. You guys spin the bottle a few times.
Yeah, yeah. Basement parties, right?
Oh, yeah, we had basement parties.
Yeah.
That was a big thing, pizza parties and
Yes.
basement parties.
Yes.
I had my pizza parties where we had a band, Telstar, so we rented the
Telstar,
halls.
yeah, Mike Roman.
Yes, and we rented the halls at the VFW on 104th and Hoxie.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
104th and Hoxie, and we had our band there, and I also had 100 and Torrance.
Mm-hmm.
We had Halloween parties and bands there.
Yeah.
And we charged $1 at the door and free pizza, free food, free drinks. And my uncles, we did bouncers. We had a lot of bouncers in those days.
Yes.
But really, you know,
But
the
nobody
fights.
got in trouble, yeah.
We had fights. You know, would somebody bump into somebody if you danced the wrong way, or you know, you elbowed somebody, or that's my girlfriend you're with. You know, we had those fights.
Yeah.
We had guys who you know, thought they were bullies, and
Oh, sure, yeah.
how many? I don't want to name one of them, but there were so many. They were there, man. You watched out. You watched your ass. I had bullies in my family, so I didn't have to watch my ass. I had uncles that watched my ass. I didn't have to worry about people fucking with me in the neighborhood. But walk outside the neighborhood, you're on your own. That's it.
True, yeah. Yeah, that's how it was back then.
Yes.
Good days.
Good days, good times. Lots of bad times too.
Oh, sure.
I mean, when Wisconsin Steel folded,
Oh, there was a lot of bad.
everybody lost their paychecks. Everybody went under. Nobody had.
Yeah.
They canceled the checks before we even had a chance.
Mhm.
They canceled. They promised a check, promised a check, promised a check, and then they canceled all of them. So many people lost their lives, lost their homes, lost their families. Families broke up. I mean, it was a tragedy all over South Daring, South.
Yeah, it was.
Slag Valley, East Side, all the steel mills started closing. It wasn't just ours. So everybody, the neighborhood started getting dilapidated, and today it's worse.
Yeah.
Today, I believe that they're not even cleaning up the area. I mean, they have a lot of propositions, and
Trying,
I suppose
yeah.
that they got avenues to do some of these things, you know, to clean up where the steel mills used to pour the slag. I know that's got to be bad for everybody.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
breathes that in. South Daring,
Heck
you know,
yeah.
was right there, and we lived right across the street. So all the fumes from those areas.
Well, okay, remember, if I don't know if you, and I'm sure we all came down 103rd. When you're coming down from the city of Chicago, and you hit that ramp coming off 103rd, coming into South Daring, there would always be a distinctive smell. And you knew that you were back in the neighborhood. You're like, yep, we're in the neighborhood. It was that smell. It was the slag, the dump.
A burnt
taste
in the air.
Yes.
The only time, you know, we had a good air smell is when you came by General Mills.
Yes.
Mwah, you went to eat your air.
Yeah.
Oh, the Cheerios was in the air.
Yeah.
The sugar was everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I lived on the street of Muskegon there, where we had slag on one side of the street and Cheerios on the other. I wonder how this is going to look in the video. You think it's...
That's why I'm trying to keep it low.
Oh, well, we're in it now. I mean, come on.
Shit.
We are weed smokers.
I'm just trying to keep it
Ain't
cool.
nothing wrong with weed, it's legal.
Well, this is
Trying
how
to keep it cool.
Steve, this is why we're such good friends.
That's right. All the years it took us to get to this day.
Hey, medical marijuana good for RA.
It's true.
Without
It's true. I have to cope when I write this book. I was just explaining that, you know, the stress that I'm under. I need to talk about people who share the same experience in my neighborhood that I grew up in. I wanted somebody to know that we were regular families, traditional families. We went to church every Sunday, communion and confirmation.
Heck
You
yeah,
made your communion and confirmation,
Yes.
and you went to everybody else's community and funerals.
Yeah.
When there was a funeral in the neighborhood, everyone went to that wake and funeral. Everybody did because everybody cared about one another.
Well, remember when they used to have white people in their homes?
I'm sorry? Yes. It was a time when we actually had the wake in the homes because people couldn't afford the funeral parlors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
There was a lot more respect for the family unit
Yeah. Then I understand all that stuff.
And you respected everybody's family unit because everybody was struggling to make that payday. Stretch to have respect for your family, honor for your family, because honor was important. You respected, and your name was important, and we stood up for our names.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I had a hard time living up to being an Ivanhoe. I had to fight for that name in my life.
Yeah.
The Rosado name was respected. You said your father was involved with music.
Yeah.
Everybody respected him because he had that goal in mind, and he did something with his life. There were a lot of people who didn't have that opportunity in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
There were a lot of poor people. We were not remarkable as far as we weren't rich by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, we struggled.
Talk about middle class.
We lived from check to check.
Yeah.
And from pay to they make that food stretch, however big your family was.
Yeah.
And if your neighbors came in and wanted to eat, they ate too.
Yes, they did.
And then your rest of your family ate.
Yeah.
Because everybody helped each other. It was a time where you could share.
Yeah.
And not even have enough for your own table.
Yeah.
And troubles. This is where my mother came in handy. People called my mother because they needed a car towed. They would get a hold of Uncle Vic, or the cab company, or all these things mattered, and it was who you knew.
Sure. Yeah. It's like we knew this guy. They used to call him Pony. I don't know if you know him. He lived in South Darien, and he had a vegetable.
Did he run
in
around
the
the
basement.
neighborhood?
Yeah, he had it. He would go around in his truck, sell corn off it, and whatever
Yes.
potatoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he would scream in the neighborhood.
Yes. Yes.
And he sold in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Let's talk about the old timers that sold stuff in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Eggman, milkman. Remember them guys?
Eggman to your doorway.
Yep.
And fresh.
Yep. Yeah.
And orange juice.
Orange juice. Yep. Juice
And-
man. Yep.
Yes. Juice man came with the big containers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big containers.
Yeah,
yeah.
those are the days.
Open the door,
Yeah.
it was.
Yes.
Yeah. And now you go to the grocery store and you're like, all these juices. Like, what?
Yeah, and bring your own bag.
Yeah.
I mean, that just happened in our lifetime. Bring your own bag type.
Yeah.
Where before, we used to get any kind of bag you wanted. I mean, and they bagged it for you. You didn't bag your groceries. We had baggers. And we had guys who put your gas in your car, too.
Oh, sure.
How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, it was
He
me.
was
I
one
was
of
one of
them.
them.
He was one of them.
You had a job like that?
Yeah.
Where'd you work?
Clark and 95th.
Oh, nice place. Busy.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you
It
get hold
still
of?
is.
Yeah, I got robbed over
Yeah, he
there.
got robbed.
You got
I
robbed
robbed
there?
people
Yeah.
from the neighborhood, but I didn't say nothing. That's all. That's why I don't want to talk about this.
I understand. Stuff. There are things you can't talk about.
I let them guys do this shit because I knew they were. I didn't want to fucking like go on.
You didn't want to cause.
But I got in
trouble.
trouble for it. I got in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you got to suck it up.
Yeah. That's
You
all.
know, and when it's that important, where a lot of things matter, you judge what's good and what's bad about the issues, and you suck it up.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
A lot of times we sucked it up in our neighborhood. We learned how to suck it up.
Yeah.
You learned how to take punches.
That's for sure.
You learned how to protect yourself. You learned how to protect your friends too.
Yeah.
Because somebody got in a fight in the neighborhood, everybody came to that fight in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Everybody knew about that fight in the
And we
neighborhood.
didn't have internet or cell phones.
No cell phones. Everybody- They
Yeah,
whistle. I could
yeah.
never fucking whistle.
Yeah.
I could never fucking whistle. But see, I had uncles. I had uncles, and uncles knew neighbors, and everybody, took care of each other.
Yeah.
That was the kind of neighborhood we grew up in. I want people to know that we were a traditional, solid, religious,
Yeah.
traditional families, hard-working families in our neighborhood. Nothing came easy.
Yeah, sure
Nothing.
did.
Education,
Sure
we had to
did.
go to school hard in the hard days, the hard
Yeah,
times.
Yeah.
Buying your weed was really hard, too.
Heck
Buying your
yeah.
weed back in the day, I'll tell you.
Nickel bags,
Tough.
dime bags.
Yeah.
No such thing as that no more.
You guys got it lucky nowadays. I post those little memes,
Yeah.
those memes.
Yeah.
No.
That's for sure. Jeez.
Yes. Well, we had a hard time. When we got stems, we had to clean our own.
Hell yeah.
And seeds, buku
Yeah.
seeds.
Oh, buku seeds.
And
yeah.
you figured, oh boy, I'm gonna grow my own. I got seeds. Yeah, that worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, there was other days when you had to hide marijuana. No marijuana was going on the ballot.
That's
Nobody
for
was going to
sure.
get marijuana legal in our day
That's
and
for
age.
sure.
It was a taboo subject.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was drinking. underage drinking. We had to sneak that.
Yeah.
We were doing Mocha David wine. Back in the day, we were doing what was your drink back in the day?
Boom
TJ
Farm.
Swan.
TJ Swan.
TJ Swan Easy Nights was my drink back in the day.
What was
Besides Old Style. TJ Swan.
Oh, yeah.
TJ Swan.
The bums
Oh,
up.
by the bottle?
Irish
Yes,
Rose.
by
and
the
shit.
bottle.
Delicious.
One thing I'll never drink again is Mad Dog 2020. Got me sick as hell, and I'll never do that again.
Man, puke your
Ask
guts
him,
out
he
for
knows.
days. Yeah.
And we weren't married yet. We were going out.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of days you remember.
Yeah, those are fun. Those were fun days. Those are really fun days.
Okay, tell me some of the incidents that you remember where we had to defend ourselves in the neighborhood. I remember there was a big fight in Cal Park because at that time in the 60s we had race riots.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though South Jordan was black, Mexican, Puerto Rican, white, they still didn't like blacks coming in our neighborhood.
No. Yeah, growing up, Trumbull Park was divided. Like, blacks could not come on this side of the park. Or this side, here was the swimming pool. They had to stay on that side.
It's
They
an
could not
imaginary
come.
line.
Yeah, they couldn't come on this side.
They
I'll
come
always
on the
remember
line,
that.
but just weren't welcome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You knew to stay in your own neighborhood.
Sure.
Right.
And once you crossed over, what happened?
Well, you're escorted out.
Escorted or you got your ass
You
kicked.
got your
Let's
ass
be
kicked.
real.
Yeah.
You got your ass kicked.
You have to turn around and run back.
Yeah.
And you had responsible people had to answer for that too, because you weren't supposed to go over there. It was already known that there was levels of the neighborhood that you had to deal with.
Sure,
If you
sure,
wanted to go
sure.
over there, you had to go through the channels to get over there. Otherwise, you're taking your own risk. You're going to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, sure.
That's how the law was. It was unserved. It wasn't written in code or anything like that, but it was understood.
Right.
You grew up understanding the code,
Yeah.
just like all the neighborhoods.
Oh,
We
sure.
had limits.
Yeah, we did.
And you better learn those limits quick or you're going to get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
And people got their ass kicked.
Yeah.
I mean, we were a neighborhood that just like any others, or actually we were better than all the others. That's what I feel.
I feel South Durham was better.
I thought about one of the safest neighborhoods in Chicago
Yeah.
at the time,
Yeah. Tell
I
us.
thought so.
But even, South Durham and Slag, I mean, us, all that. I mean, I growing up, I didn't know nothing about the East Side. I didn't know anything over that bridge.
Yeah.
It was like we were secluded, South Durham,
Right.
Slag Valley, South Chicago.
That's it.
Because my grandparents lived
And that's where the bus
in
took
South
us.
Chicago, and that's where the bus took us. Yeah.
That's all we
Yeah.
knew. Yes. And East Siders were uppity. We always thought they
Oh,
were better
yes.
than us anyway.
Yes.
We were the steel mill people and they were like,
Yeah.
oh, whatever.
Yeah.
But they were, still, we had a lot of family. I'm not saying that there was no animosity here. I'm just saying
Sure,
that
we lived on the East Side for 25 years.
the
Yeah,
feeling that you
yeah.
get from different neighborhoods. West Side was taboo at that point already. Okay, you couldn't go to the West Side. You couldn't go to certain parts of neighborhoods on the other side of Dan Run because you were definitely going to die. You were going to get shot. You were going to get stabbed. You were going to get in trouble. There was trouble over there. Stay out of there.
Sure.
How many times a car broke down over there? Oh my God! The first thing I was worried about was when I was going to die there.
Yeah.
I mean, I had uncles I could call anytime. And then you got to get to a phone because there was no cell phones.
Exactly.
So you had to get to the pay phones and then call. All along, I think I broke down on every exit, all along the Dan Ryan back in my heyday. And I would flag, of course, everybody did,